Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Ghostfire Media and the coverage of the North-South Racing League. Tonight is the Vandoorn Racing Development 200, and this is one of the feature events at Hickory Motor Speedway, a very, very short track, but that is going to be making for some absolutely amazing racing.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic short night's worth of racing here on Ghostfire Media. North-South Racing League is going to put on a heck of a show for us tonight. These lap times are coming in about 15 seconds of lap, and they got a lot of laps to do tonight.
They 100% do, and these guys are having some fun with the tires as we're sitting here watching turn one, and these guys are putting on quite a show as we are wrapping up practice. We do have to apologize for the late start to the evening. Had some massive technical difficulties, but we're here and ready for some fantastically fast racing action.
Yeah, these guys said they wanted to try and hit the tire barriers here coming into right for the end of the session here, so to put on a good show for us.
And they're doing everything in their power to test that just bundle of tires that they have right there on the entrance to turn one. But the one thing we need to sit here and keep in mind is all of these guys, we're reaching the final third of the season, but the points, they are far from being decided at this point. And we have to keep
supposed to pile
just
in soon or what?
everyone on the edge of their seats, because Ryan Johnson is currently at the forefront of all of this.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson's been, having some great runs here lately. He's able to, capitalize and get the most points out of every weekend. So these guys are going to have to battle here tonight, though, trying to get back through the field and be able to, I think Dante Curtis is going to have to get the EOL drive back through the field and try and win here at Hickory tonight. Try to capitalize and take over the points lead.
And as we start qualifying, first, we'll go ahead and watch the 38 make his way around the track. And these laps are going to tick by quickly if we stay green. Mr. Justin Grosser is out there. He currently has that fastest lap.
Let's move over here and see what Dan Jannon's doing here. Love the paint scheme this week.
Having that little bit of a stripe out there already on the car. And you know what? He's looking fast with that, trying to go for the classic Mickey Chevy look right there. I'll admit, I kind of wish I had some Mickeys with me tonight.
Yeah. Let's look over here at John Cross. John Cross is about to start his first lap here. Slaps the wall. Looks like he did, but I think he just missed it. He comes really close there on corner exit.
And he's one of those that has looked strong, very consistent. He's not really bringing home the points, but he's also not somebody that we have to cover with incidents unless it happens directly in front of him. He's looking strong, being our title sponsor, running that cross collision and body car, the number 10. You got to rep the sponsors, and especially when you're the title sponsor.
Exactly. Let's see. We got Will Eastman out here. He is starting his first lap right now.
He was waiting a little while to get moving to see where everybody was. Tonight our invert is going to be 14 places. So some of these guys are definitely going to be looking to see if they can get themselves into the right position and be able to take advantage, because this is going to be a position track.
All right. Let's see.
And our points leader of Ryan Johnson getting his laps in right now. But Dante Curtis is at the front of the pack. Unfortunately, that's not going to matter too much because he does have the EOL for winning last week. But we'll see where the current leader is going to put himself.
Right on pole.
Oh, that's going to move him back pretty far into the pack. But there's nothing quite like getting those bragging rights for taking first.
Yeah, I mean, it shows the field that you are the fastest. You're going to be the threat. I mean, Ryan Johnson every week is going to be a threat. He's been up there almost every week, so his name is well known in the houses here in the North-South Racing League. For good or for bad, depends on how he's been raced. But setting the pole every week or getting up there is a great way to show off.
And I will be honest, I completely forgot how treacherous the pit entry is here at Hickory. You kind of have to come down out of turn 3 to get it the fastest you possibly can. And I'll admit that those tires that we have at the walls, they probably aren't going to do too much in reality to kind of save you if you hit them.
Yeah, the walls here aren't the most friendliest of walls here, but you're gonna have to do your best to try and slow it down, but not give up too much speed here when trying to get on pit road.
Well, we do have from our sources on the inside, should be able to get about 130 laps on a tank tonight. And that's not the entire race, but as we're hitting our warm-up, first off, we were told that there should be a something special for us when we get to the end of the warm-up. I'll admit, most situations I'd be scared of that, but for some reason I don't think these guys are going to do something that would scare me.
Oh man, I think they're just gonna have some fun. I think they kind of do what they were gonna do earlier, but let's see the racing action right now. Preview.
And that is, I'm actually looking up there, and hopefully we don't see too much of that spinning out of turn 4 that everybody is inevitably going to have some fun doing. However, I'm looking forward to seeing if we can get 2 grooves going here. My experience on the track is it's not easy, but my experience here is actually in the super late models.
Yeah, I don't have any experience here, so it's gonna be first time calling the track, being here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
And oh yeah, I can't remember where you were when we were running here. It was a blast, don't get me wrong. And yeah, we're seeing some of those technical difficulties.
Yeah, I remember. I'm usually the broadcaster, and Josh is usually the producer. But his technical difficulties, we had to switch roles. I'm normally listening to the drivers' chat to provide the feedback to see what the drivers are up to. So I had to turn that off right quick. So sorry about that.
I would be the one doing that, however, Yeah, I can't even get iRacing to load today.
Yeah, big time problems there in the Josh Laston camp for his PC.
I spent about 3 hours yesterday trying to get it to where I could run Adam and I's league race last night. Got that to work. Then I come to load this up today, and it just decided that does not want me to be able to watch the North-South Racing League in high definition and be able to follow along just and bounce around between the cars. So I'm going to be relying on Adam to go back to his roots of producing as the founder of Ghostfire Media.
I mean, I have to admit, it's been kind of nice not being the producer, just to be able to be the guy to relax and just call the action. It's kind of been fun.
Well, again, I'm going to go back to what I've absolutely loved about us getting to broadcast this league. These guys put on a great show, and me in the producer's seat, it is so difficult for me to want to move around and show all the battles on track because I just will get focused on one battle and the absolutely amazing racing that's going on in one place. I have to stop myself from focusing because there's amazing racing throughout this group.
I mean, there's amazing racing all throughout the track, like you said. These guys are out here putting in lap after lap, trying to get the best lap times ever, and put on a great show for themselves, but also for the crowd out there watching us here on Ghostfire Media. You know, we want to put a great product, and these guys provide that great product that we can produce for you guys.
And I assume you're sitting here on Pit Lane 2 camera waiting to see what they have for us.
Yes, most definitely. I'm not sure. It said that it was supposed to be a warm-up, but it looked like they were doing it right there before the before practice ended.
Well, yeah.
Oh, no, maybe
Yep.
there it is.
Nope, there we go. Oh, at least they're not barrels.
Isn't that right, Justin? I know you're out there listening.
Oh, I had to do it. Oh my god, and
So much carnage.
I'm hoping this is the only carnage we see there for the night. I don't make promises, because we may have somebody get a little extra aggressive and push somebody up that way. But I think it is time for us to go ahead and bring up our grid. And oh yeah, I forgot about all of this.
Yeah.
All right, our pole sitter tonight, and this is the As They Sit. All right, unfortunately your internet's going. I may have to have you just run through this. I can't read anything.
All right, so number 1 is going to be Jordan Mattern. Second is going to be Devin Rogers. 13, or third will be Robbie Claby. Fourth will be Justin Rigsby. Fifth will be Travis Hoffler. Sixth is Justin Grosser. Seventh, Randy Nichols. Eighth is Matt Dula. Ninth will be Cody Hubbard. 10th is Gary Eschen. 11th will be Will Eastman. 12th will be Bryan Hacker. 13th. All right, come on.
Hey, just roll through it.
There we go. All right, 15th will be Matt Kutz. 16th is Dustin Shepard. 17th is Adam Gable. 18th is John Cross. 19th is Jeff Mathis. 20th is Casey Wood. 21st is John Masterson. 22nd is Shane Loveridge. 23rd is Jeff Bergener. And 24th is Dan Janin.
All right, let's go ahead and get this out of the way onto a camera and ready to go because the pace truck is off.
Jordan.
All right, and the 68 gets himself a great jump there. And we're watching the rest of the field stay stacked up side by side. And we'll have to wait and see if these guys are able to keep that running, as Robbie Clavey is looking to get himself up off of that outside line, because the lower line is going to be faster, but it looks like he's going to end up hung up on the outside. The 25 is going to try to take advantage. The 20 gets fully clear. The 69 is going to stay on the low line. The 31 will be hanging out on that outside line, waiting for any kind of an opening on the low line. But these guys on the inside, they're doing everything they can to keep those two hung up and start making up places.
Yeah, I mean, right now the inside line, unlike last week, is the place to be. This week you want to be on the inside line. Robbie's up there stuck in no man's land. The 30 of Cody Hubbard had an opening but closed it down. 73's trying to drop it down any way he can, but 38 of Justin Grosser is closed the door there for him. Robbie's going to have to try to find a way to get down.
All right, the 31 is trying to get himself up close enough to get in front of the 13 of Will Eastman. Can't quite get it, but the 31 is holding up the 17 of Matt Dula. Matt Dula has been strong for the past few weeks, and especially once we got back to these short tracks. But the 13 is going to allow that space for the 73 to get back down, but we're still seeing some side-by-side racing as the 23 is trying to put the 31 back behind him. The 15 has that ability to roll up, and there's not much of an opportunity for anyone to get on the outside of him. So he's going to go ahead and drop down below the 31. But as we're getting close to 10 laps in, these guys have to start thinking about tires, as the 13 is putting a move on the 73, and he's almost getting a push from Gary Eschen.
Yeah, Gary Eschen, I love the paint scheme this week. He is really on the back door of the 13 of Will Eastman, trying to push him along, trying to get through there so he could get past Robbie Clavey as well. So they're all side by side, or done being side by side here. Let's move up to the front. We got Jordan Matter, and he got a heck of a lead right now. He's about 7/10 of a second there ahead of Travis Hoffler. He's right there, sitting in first. We got Devin Rogers in third, Randy Nichols in fourth, and Cody Herbert rounds out the top five.
And you know what? I'm just going to say this. I don't know if it was just a little bit of an issue with qualifying, but Vandoorn is putting on a show right now.
Yeah, he's out there. He's running away from these guys. It's great to see. Right now, the biggest mover in the field right now, I think we have, I'm going to go with Jeff Bergener. He's up, right now, he is up 7 spots. He's sitting in 16th spot. So he's been moving up right now throughout the field.
And we're seeing some of the title favorites, like Ryan Johnson right now, he's in 14th. He's right back where the invert put him. But honestly, it's looking like this is going to be a strategy race. These guys are keeping it clean.
Ooh, got a caution.
I literally had to say that, didn't I?
Alrighty, let's see what happened here.
Oh, that wasn't where it was. That was John Cross ahead a little bit.
So let's see the next one here. We get a little bit of a bump right there from the 91 of Adam Gable.
Oh, that was a nudge.
All right, so
there was nothing he could really do there.
Right now we have half the field from, actually about a quarter of the field pit. Not half the field, from 15th on back, have pitted. And I was about to bring this up. If they pit now, could they bank on caution breeds cautions and make their way through and make it to the end here?
Honestly, certain races that I've run in my life, I'm going to say yes. But having spent as many weeks with this group and how honestly clean the beginning of the race was, if we would have had this caution on late lap 150, yes. But where we are in the race, these guys, it's time to be patient. It's time to just settle in, let the laps tick off. And I'm not going to be the one to come in and pit. But I also don't know where their tires are right now.
Yeah, I mean, it would be throwing a kind of a Hail Mary here. I mean, we're getting about 130, 135 laps here. Do you come in, lap 100, cut it in half? Like, how is this going to work for these guys? What are the pit strategies for these guys tonight?
I mean,
Microphone muted.
Adam,
Sound
you've
muted.
run with me. I know that pit lane is my
Nemesis.
Achilles heel. So I tend to be less aggressive when it comes to pit lane. But I also have seen this is a track that position is key. So as we see, the top 5 did not make their way in. Those guys that are a little farther back in the pack, yeah, they came in. But that's the same kind of strategy that you normally see play out in these kind of races.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see the pace truck, not the car, pace truck lights are off. He always, the truck I think always looks the weirdest especially on this type of track. His car, the back left is like downward sloped, and he kind of looks like he's upward hill climb there. It's kind of weird.
Well,
the things you notice as a broadcaster.
Yeah. But the lights are off, it's in, and it's up to our leader, who is getting a fantastic jump. He doesn't really need to work too hard to be able to get that jump, because he has a low line, the easier launch, but we're seeing side by side pretty much for the next 3 lanes back. So back to 7th, the 89's trying to keep himself on that low line, keep Gary Eschen up on the high, but he's struggling just a little bit. But the 25 and the 20, they are going door to door, leaving only about a foot between them. But right now, the 69 and the 30, oh, the 20 gets a little bit loose, and that's going to check up that outside line. That's going to give the 25 the opportunity to get up in front and put the 20 back into 4th, and at risk of he cuts down and gets himself in line, but the 30 is going to try to make a move for that little bit of speed that was lost trying to get into that low line.
Yeah, Devin Rogers so far has been able to clear himself. Randy Nichols able to. The 20 now of Travis Hoffler, he's trying to clear Cody Herbert. Cody's hanging tough though on the outside right now. It's the strongest we've seen so far of tonight between these two. But the 89 of Dustin Shepard wants to push the 20 out of the way, and we have our second caution.
All right, so you may have been right there. Maybe caution's breeding caution.
All right.
No, did John? No, John got turned again.
This time it wasn't that bad.
There. No. But that last tap may have done a little bit to the rear, where he may be a little off camber from what he's used to having. But we're 30 laps in, 2 cautions deep. But if I'm being honest, for this short of a track with this many cars, we're going to see some damage.
Exactly. Hey, it's a short track race. They're very tight quarters here, as you can see. I mean, they're basically door to door. Net code has not been a thing right now for these guys, so they're able to really race it hard, side by side, door to door, lug nut to lug nut, so they're having some fun. But here, while we're here, let's go ahead and go to our first commercial break for talk about the league sponsors.
Five Star Realty Group is located on the Emerald Coast in beautiful Panama City, Florida. With
Five Star Realty Group has years of experience in residential properties, investment opportunities, vacation rentals, and commercial properties, and looks forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Kelly's Custom Engraving is a locally owned and operated business located in Wellville, North Carolina, specializing in custom engraving of wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow their Facebook page to view all of their amazing products and place your order.
Alrighty. Great words for our sponsors here. And Pace Truck is off. Jordan Madron is off to the runnings there. He got another fantastic start. Randy Nichols is diving low. He clears Devin Rogers with ease. Right now, Devin Rogers now is going to fight for the third spot here, trying to get past the 30 of Cody Herbert. Cody Herbert, though, is fighting back hard on the inside. He's trying to drop it low below the left line, yellow line there on the bottom, trying to find any advantage he can right now over him. Gary Eschen has to slam on brakes, so he's right behind him, running him pretty decently hard. But he almost got into the back of him there. Had to put on the brakes really easily. Devin Rogers going to fall back. Sees an opening right in front of Dustin Shepard. Going to drop his car in. Now Dustin Shepard, they're all lined up right now except for the front. Randy Nichols has gotten by Jordan Madron. He dropped underneath him there. We saw it in the corner of the screen, but he was able to get by right now. He is the man on the point right now.
And he's been showing speed. Jordan Madron managed to look very strong at the beginning of this race, but I don't know if it's the fact that he overcooked his tires trying to look strong as Gary Eschen sticking his nose down there looking for that final podium spot. And it looks like he's going to be able to get it done. The 30 drops in right behind him to cut off the bleeding. And he manages to only lose a single spot in that situation. But we're seeing a parade until back about 10th, where we're starting to see some side-by-side action. And I may have been wrong to where they just got back in line.
Oh, well, perfect timing to see Dante Curtis dropping down underneath the 32 of John Masterson.
And we got to see a little bit of extra aggressive driving from him at the tail end of last week. Probably got called to the trailer. But we're starting to see that, you know what, at the end of the day, he's going to push as we're starting to see the 11 try to make a move. Now, can Dante Curtis manage to close down the gap before he can get onto the low line? And Dante Curtis he manages to not quite get there in time.
Let's see, up front, we got another battle for second place. Oh, the 21 is off pace right now.
And that is not something good, to where that's going to create a little bit of chaos throughout this pack. If he's off pace that badly, he's pushing a lot of people up to that top line. And as we've seen, the top line is not where you want to be, and that's going to leave you very vulnerable. But we had some 3 wide right there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're rusty.
Yeah, I was clicking on the top, but I wasn't at the top. So, yeah, we got 3 wide action right there. Everybody's trying to get by Jeff, and right now, Devin Rogers used it as a pick, got underneath the 68 of Jordan Madron, and is trying to get by him. We got Dustin Shepard right there trying to follow suit underneath, but leaves too much of a gap. Jordan's going to drop down.
And that's the right move. You want to make sure, even if you really think you can fight it, we're only about a quarter of the way into this race. None of these guys have pit at this point. You got to stop the bleeding. You got to make sure that you get yourself in line and can slow down, as it's looking like he's doing a little bit of brake checking from that fight. Probably overheat these tires, even though it's a cloudy day here at Hickory. The just level of pushing he was doing, trying to make that outside line work. as Jordan Madron showing a little bit of weakness where the 89 gets into him, turns him, and that is going to be chaos on the front stretch.
Oh, these guys. I think Dustin knew that he messed up. He tried to get off of him, and the car just gravitated like a magnet straight to him and just pulled him straight into it.
I don't even know if there's going to be a view that's going to be able to capture just the absolute insanity.
We have there's a lot of
that. Honestly, oh yeah, let's take a quick gander at this one.
Nope, that camera didn't work.
Oh, that is perfection in my mind. That's still right there, just yeah. Yeah, that one move is just Will Eastman and somehow our points leader. Oh, these guys managed that. As we see Justin Grosser going right through.
Everybody's trying to split the field
They're
here.
They're trying. And it's looking, I have to commend these guys for the car control right there, because
you see the rotors glowing. Whew, holding the brakes down.
That was good. But as we go back to live, the number of cars we saw diving down pit lane, we did say that our inside sources, which happen to be admins, did say 130 laps. We are seeing some cautions here and there.
So as of right now, the top 5 have not pitted. The 6 on back has pitted at least once. Some of them quite a few times.
Oh.
So they might be coming in doing left sides, then coming back doing right sides, each time. Because a pit lane is short, you don't want to go a lap down.
Well, there's no way around the fact that iRacing does not do the best job of modeling only taking one side of tires. So I don't know if that's the right idea.
Alright, well the pace truck lights are back on. They were off. I think they still need to get sorted out. A lot of people coming in and out of pits. Nobody was in the right places. Threw it back on. Got a delayed start, but they're going to go back right now. Lap 57, we're going to go back green.
And we're only 20 minutes into this race, and we've had 4 cautions, and we're still over a quarter of the way through this race. Well, the lights on the pace truck are off. They are off, and the 69 gets an amazing jump. The 23 manages to try to keep pace to where we're side by side for 3rd, 4th, 5th. And these guys, that low line, the outside line is going to have to do exactly what the 25 did there and the 03 is doing. They have to leave this low line absolutely no room so they can get as short of a distance and run as close to the ideal line as possible.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, basically pinch. Oh, the 25 gets knocked out of the way there. Gets a little bit of too much up door-to-door action.
3 wide.
Ooh,
3 wide.
Squeezing it. Matt Cook holds on to it though. 68 of Jordan, he drops down. But right now, we're seeing
that is a brown pants moment right there. And we keep it green.
Until now, you had to say something.
I'm not commenting on cautions and keeping it green again.
Alrighty, let's see what happens here.
Oh!
No comment on that one. It kind of like drove.
Under normal circumstances, I'm going to say that's a brake failure in real life, but
yeah, that seemed like he drove through him there.
yeah, I got nothing there.
All right, so we're seeing more pit stops from ninth on back. We got quite a few takers. Adam Gable did not pit, so he moved up. He gained a lot of spots there. So we got a lot of people making some gains here. Quite a bit actually made eights. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 cars that are up 8 positions. So they're all tied for the most positions gained right now. That'd be Gary Eschen, Ryan Johnson, Matt Cook, and Adam Gable. But Adam Gable pits this time, so he's going to go in and lose that.
All right, and we saw going zipping by was Dan Janjanin with an Elms Racing Lucky Dog. And honestly, guys are going to end up going a lap down here for the slightest infractions. These kinds of tracks, if you're pitting from 10th on back, you're running the risk of not being able to get out of the pits before the pace truck is around.
Yeah,
so
it's one of those things that you're gonna have to guess on, because everybody has to come in for everybody to do the same pit stop for you not to go a lap down.
Yeah, and it's always just one of those challenges, because especially in these situations, if you're towards the back half of the pack, it makes sense to come in and get tires, because you need that little bit of an advantage. Makes it to where you may be able to make that outside line work. But with the lights on the pace truck off, I will say that at least with these, pacing's not forever. But the truck is off and we're going, as our leader does not quite get the jump, and he's going to take advantage of that low line, get himself completely clear of the 23, who's going to get himself down to the low line, get to run his lap. And again, we're starting to see that outside line not really able to do anything, but the 69 manages to get a little bit loose through the turn. That's going to give Gary Eschen the opportunity to get down below and hang him out to dry, and he's going to be able to get himself just in front enough to be able to take over the lead of this race. Maybe not for that lap, but as we finish lap 69 of 200, he's going to be at the front. And that's all she wrote, is that low line. We're starting to see those guys that move to the back at the invert, and our points leaders make their way onto that low line and to the front of this pack.
Yeah, Randy Nichols right now is in no man's land. He's out there on the outside. You got the 30 of Cody Herbert. Then you got Bryan Hacker on the inside. Ryan Johnson right there in 5th. They're all going to try and do their best to be nose to tail and not give Nichols a room to move in. And we're underneath caution once again.
I didn't say anything about it this time.
Dante Curtis, it shows. Let's see what happened here.
Oh.
All right.
I'm going to say this is wrong place, wrong time.
Oh, the 48 just has to check up a little bit right in front of Dante, and Dante got into him,
And Dante got the tip there to get into him.
Alrighty. Well,
But as we're looking through comments, Marshall Ships out there telling us, you know what, it is a long race and you can work your way back through. That is true, but as the laps tick off as quickly as they have been, it's going to get a little bit rough.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to fight a little bit harder here and there to try and hold that position. And you just hope that you're in an odd number when the caution comes out. You don't want to be even number.
And some people may actually plan to make sure that that's how it works out. I'll let people pass me occasionally on tracks like this, knowing that a caution's probably going to come out, and I'll only fight if I'm in, let's say, 7th, because 3rd, 5th, and above is rare. But we are back under caution, 3/8 of the way through this race, and I unfortunately think it's only going to be getting a little dicier as we go through more and more laps.
As the laps tick on, it's starting to get a little bit dicier out there. Very true. But we're gonna have to see how everything shapes out here. We're still not we're not at the halfway mark there. We're about just over the, let's say, coming up to the halfway mark. So we're
3/8.
3/8. There we go. I'm bad at math. North Carolina, terrible.
I'm from Ohio. It's not like we get a much better education.
That's
But
why.
old Pace Truck is off, and the 30 wastes no time getting himself out there in front. And I'm going to say that's the right move. And we have just an absolute battle as Dante Curtis, despite being involved in that last incident, is up into 4th. And our points leader is trying to get himself clear and be able to run his line. Dante Curtis has Will Eastman thrown up onto that high line, and that's going to spell death as we are starting to see the 3 and the 03. Ooh, that is a little scary. But we're also seeing Matt Dula try to get himself up there and get himself into position. But we're seeing a fight for the lead as the 11 gets himself down below the 30. And that is going to be all she wrote for the 30. If I'm in his position, I'm going to go ahead and slow down a little bit so I can slot back into 2nd place before Dante Curtis can close that gap. But the racer says you never want to give up that lead without a fight, but sometimes you just need to protect the points.
I mean, we're at 83 of 200. I think you need to slide back, drop in front of Dante, because if you don't drop in front of Dante and caution doesn't come out, you're dropping to the back. You got Ryan Johnson, Matt Dula, Devin Rogers. They're all stacked up right there, and you're just going to slide back one by one very slowly.
And right now, that 03 has closed down that gap to where there is not a safe space to be able to get himself in there, especially with how aggressive Dante's attacking these corners to make sure that it doesn't happen. And now it's Dante's turn to go ahead and try to make the pass. And right now, the nose of the 03 is in front of the 30. And Ryan Johnson's waiting for his turn.
You get a little sideways there.
And it is officially his. Matt Dula gets a little bit close to the 3 right there. But again, you have to think strategically. There is a line waiting to just carry him to the back of this pack.
Yeah, as we're seeing right now, I mean, he just lost 3 spots, but I'll lose another one to Devin Rogers. It'll be 4th. If Matt Cook can stay there, it'll be 5. So, and then 6 right there with Gary, or with Will Eastman.
And we're seeing a little bit of a conga line. He manages, as Matt Cook has to check up a little bit. That's going to leave him the room to where I'm going to say that was a whole lot of serendipity, as right now Dante Curtis is putting the move on, manages to somehow make something out of nothing to get below the 11, and Matt Dula, Dante Curtis, they're creating a sandwich of the 03, or the 3.
Yeah, right now, Matt Dula's right there, sitting in the back, trying to figure out a way to get past Ryan Johnson. But he's got to wait his turn. He's got to get past Bryan Hacker first right now. Bryan Hacker's hung out on the outside and no man's land. He's going to have to slice down. There was a little bit of a hole right there he could have done, but Matt Dula has now officially closed that hole completely up, and he's going to go back another spot. And I don't think Devin Rogers is going to give him an inch either.
And I expect no one in this top 8, as through all of the restarts, we have cycled pretty much back to where everyone qualified, give or take 1 or 2 spots, but everyone has managed to work their way back. But the 25 gets squeezed down quite regularly, just down below the minimal white line that we have here on track.
I mean,
and
Bryan
he's
Hacker's
doing a good job fighting on the outside.
Bryan Hacker, I mean, he has to basically lean on Devin Rogers, so Devin Rogers feels like he has no room to go and not really be able to fight back. That's the only way anybody's going to make this outside line work. But these corners look like they make the cars gravitate towards the outside wall, where Bryan Hacker's not able to lean on them all the way towards the exit of the corner. He can do it on the entry and middle, but on the exit of the corner, you know, it automatically pushes them too far out, where he can't just lean on them to take away that lane.
I mean, he could try, but oh, we're starting to see a little bit of a battle as these guys are getting racy.
And yellow flag is out.
Oh, just when it was getting fun.
As soon as we hear it, we can hear in the background the audible crash that happened. So we kind of heard some doors slamming there, so let's see what happened. Some good hard racing just went wrong there. Jordan was trying to just keep his nose as far as possible there, or as close as possible to him, go through the corner. They're probably trying to make a move on exit, and just got too close.
Yeah, and honestly, that was a fantastic run as we are halfway through this race, and it looks like there's a whole lot of Hoosiers being swapped around, but Dante Curtis is out there saying Dante dead last to the lead. I hate saying it, but I'm not surprised.
With Eric in it, in the between everything.
And unfortunately, we are running without race control for the night. So, not saying that Dante was the reason of that, because I'll admit my goldfish brain can't even remember what happened there. But we don't have anyone to issue EOLs for.
So there's admins out there. There's just no race control live to actually penalize people. So they can't. There's nobody to actually review it to see what's going on and who deserves the penalty, who doesn't. It's supposed to be a gentleman's agreement tonight. If you think you're the person to be involved in the wreck or responsible, they're supposed to take a gentleman's EOL from one of the admins that are racing.
Yeah, and from the incident with Dante, that was just wrong place, wrong time with him.
Yeah, it was just more of, you know, it was more of a racing deal, you know, somebody checked up and the next person didn't, you know, not much you can do there. And Dante Curtis is going to choose the outside line.
I don't know if that's the right idea, especially with the person he's battling with for the points lead being the person right behind him. I'll admit I'm the jerk that would do everything in my power to screw them. As he is off and gets a fantastic jump. That's the only advantage I see to that outside line. But that also gives Ryan Johnson the opportunity to get a really good jump, but he is held up on that outside line. And unless he can find speed that no one else has been able to, and okay, of course he's pulling that off.
Oh, he dove it in there to try to stick.
That's going to be problematic, but he's going to get a good launch. Honestly, if he didn't dive that in there, he had that going into the turn, and caution's out.
Caution is back out. That wasn't a fact. Let's go back to, let's see, the 31. All right, 31. Where are you at? Oh, Adam Gable gets into him just a little bit there, gets him turned around, and everybody's just diving through
And then
there.
we're back to running. At least he was a gentleman and turned him back to straight.
Alrighty.
Whenever I do that to someone, I try to at least be a gentleman to make it to where they can drive straight the direction we were going.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and go to our commercial break here. Talk about some more of the league sponsors.
Cross Collision and Body is located in Minerva, Ohio, and specializes in returning your car back to its pre-accident condition. They work with all insurance companies to fix your car the correct way. For scheduling and questions, please visit their Facebook page or call the shop at 330-868-6011. J&G Hardwood Flooring is a small family-owned business which started in 2005, located in Christiana, Tennessee, and serves all of Middle Tennessee. Owners Josh and Brandon Klaczynski have a combined 35 years of experience to serve all of your flooring needs, from new construction, remodels, or even small repairs. For estimates and scheduling, call 615-904-2218.
And we are back, and there's a little shake-up here as we come back from break.
And Dante Curtis went from being the lead pitted, and he is in 13th.
I'll be honest, with the frequency that we're seeing cautions, I don't know if that was the right move.
He's pitted quite a few times beforehand. I mean, you would think he had enough.
All right, but the pace truck is off, and Ryan Johnson gets his jump. He's followed by Matt Dula, and that is going to be the opportunity that Matt Dula needs, but he gets a little bit of a bobble on exit of turn 2. He's going to be able to slot himself into third, but Justin Grosser is under pressure from Matt Cook, and that's going to give the 15 the opportunity to truly get himself up into the top 4. And Will Eastman should be able to hold him up onto that outside line, get himself truly up into the top 5. And as we see a little 3-wide action a little further back, I wouldn't be surprised if we look back there and suddenly there's a Dante Curtis in the middle of all of that.
And Dante Curtis is trying to come back through. He's made his way up to 11th now.
But that's what he's going to need to do. We're under 50% of this race, as where we are, the 25 is looking a little racy on the 68. Got some laps led, but since then started to fall back. But we're seeing Dante Curtis move himself up as Bryan Hacker is trying to get himself down below Cody Hubert, and caution's out.
So let's see here. Just got a little bit too much into it.
And that's just, I'm going to try to slot myself in, and there just wasn't enough space. Potter tells you it's clear, but somebody checks a little earlier than you're used to seeing.
It looks like Adam, I think he had a really great center of the corner there, and he was trying to move as much as he can coming off of the corner, and just got a little bit too much into it.
And we are seeing the 31 get the Nelms Racing Lucky Dog Award to try to get himself closer to the front of this pack and battling for position in earnest. But our points leader for the league manages to put himself in the best position to expand.
Yeah, I mean he's in a perfect spot right now. Track position is king, like we've said all night long. He's in the control spot on the restarts. He can dictate when the field goes. Gets a great jump every single time. So, doesn't look like he has to pit again. So now he just has to hold off everybody and fend them off. Hopefully we get a good green flag run here and kind of see what everybody can do here on these fresher tires that we've got.
And honestly, that's where some of the best racing has been, where these guys get an opportunity for the tires to heat up, wear a little bit, normalize, and we get to see who is truly better at protecting their gear and not overheating the tires, because it's going to make a huge difference with these Hoosiers as the pace truck is off. And Ryan Johnson gets a great jump. Matt Dula is right there on the bumper. But we're going to see if the 69 slots back down. He's going to get that done. And that's going to give the opportunity to Justin Grosser to get himself fully around Matt Cook. And Bryan Hacker is looking to get himself up into 5th place. He's going to do that. And Dante Curtis gets a little bit into the 30. That sends him loose, but he manages to collect it. We stay green, hopefully for more than 15 seconds after I say that. But
No. He holds on to
Curtis
it.
And we managed to keep it green because these guys are pointing in the right direction.
That guy was...
No more comments.
Jordan Madden did a heck of a save there. He got put in a bad spot, slid up the track, went 3 wide, was able to hold on to it. He did a fantastic job right there.
And I am making no more comments about staying green after that. But we're seeing everybody slowly get themselves down in as we see the 68 and the 23 get close. This is looking like the only side-by-side battle that we have on track right now. And it's a little bit close as we're starting to see the 89 kind of join the fray. 68 puts himself down in front to where we now are... Okay, come on. Bryan Hacker is getting a little bit aggressive on the 38, and that's going to open up the door for the 03 to try to get himself moved up one more position after pitting. And honestly, he's having a fantastic run after that pit stop.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job right now trying to carve back through the field. Justin Grosser falls back now. He's in 6th. Dante Curtis has worked his way up to 5th. He's on the back door of Bryan Hacker. Matt Dula, though, is going for the lead right now. Got Ryan Johnson out of the groove. Randy Nichols follows him right through, pushes Ryan Johnson back to 3rd. Matt Dula is your new race leader.
And Matt Dula has looked strong, just has not been able to close it out throughout the course of the season at this point. But it's good to see him leading some laps, but he's getting a little bit over aggressive on exit, and that's going to give the 69 the opportunity to get the nose under, but he chops off the nose of Ryan Johnson. That's checking up the field, and Bryan Hacker gets turned. And lap 134, we are back to caution, and I won't lie, I saw that one coming.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw the stack up of the field right here. So as we're going through, Matt Dula gets a little bit aggressive here, dives it in deep, hits the back of Randy Nichols, slows his car down, and then just stacks up the field. And Dante Curtis wasn't square on the back and just hit him on his left rear. And that's all she wrote right there.
And I will say from that specific view, Dante Curtis was lucky to not be spit.
Well, Dante Curtis is back in another pit stop here.
He's managed to work himself back through the field. It's a good gamble. He went back to 13th after the last pit stop.
Looks like he might be 13th on this one as well.
And right now, we're looking at 63 laps to make his way back. I couldn't tell you just because right now, Matt Dula, when was his last pit stop?
Matt Dula pitted on lap 99. And so did Randy Nichols. Justin Rigsby, the 31, was 119. Travis and Devin Rogers sitting in 4th and 5th were at 107.
So none of these guys are going to need fuel. We're looking at 130 for the limit of a fuel run. But
I guess tires are king.
We've been under caution a reasonable amount tonight. But you have to be thinking even 10-lap fresher tires are going to make a huge difference.
Well, if Dante can get back up there, I mean, he's got about 38-lap fresher tires now over the top two, and also Cody, who's sitting in 5th.
All right, the pace truck is off, and 69 wastes no time getting his start out of the way, and he is completely clear to where Matt Dula is going to be able to get himself back up into second without any issues. The 31 is trying to get a move done on the 20, and the 25 is making his way back up to the front, and good to see him back up there because he was looking strong at the beginning of this race. Ooh, but he's getting a lot of pressure on that low line, and we're seeing the 68 and the 30 go side by side. The 38's waiting for the opportunity to get his nose down below, get himself up into 6th, and a little bit of blinking is never what you want to see on a short track.
Yeah, right now I'm watching the 30 of Cody Hubbard. He's flirting with the wall almost every single lap, especially being on the outside lane there. He's tapped it a time or two there on that last restart. I think he's did it about 3 or 4 different times over the course of the 5 or 6 laps we've ran so far.
All right, but we're starting to see these guys that are going side by side as the 68 manages to slide down right in front of the 30. We're starting to see these guys that are fighting for points get themselves up to the front again after pit stops.
So right now we see Ryan Johnson right there in the screen. He's in 9th. Dante Curtis, he's sitting in 12th, so that's your top two. Then Bryan Hacker's up there, so he's in 13th. So they're all trying to make their way right back through. The highest position, though, is Ryan Johnson sitting in 9th after this last caution.
Well, and it's not as if there's any kind of a massive skill disparity in front of them, because Gary Eschen, as we're seeing right there, he's got Dante Curtis right on his bumper, and he's sitting in 7th right now, but he's had a little bit of bad luck throughout the past few races. But as they're slowly making their way towards the front, if I'm sitting in the top 3, I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
At the ease that they're getting through the field.
So look up front, see what the top leaders are doing right now. We got Randy Nichols. He's got a good lead right now, almost 0.6 of a second right now over Matt Dula in 2nd. 3rd is going to be Travis Hoffler. He is sitting there in the number 20. 31 of Jason Rigsby's in 4th. Justin Grosser is in 5th.
And these are names that, while towards the end of the race we have not been calling their names all that often, they're definitely the people that we see in the top 5, in the top 10 every single week. But the points leaders are going to have to fight their way through obviously capable drivers as the 20 is trying to get himself down below the 17. Having an amazing push from the 31. Now the 38's joining, and Matt Dula just had a train run by him.
Luckily, there's only 3, you know. There's a little bit of split field here. You see Devin Rogers kind of fall back a little bit from that pack. Ryan Johnson's trying to close the gap there. He's right behind him. He's running 7th. So, you know, Matt Dula's been giving up that bottom line there off a corner exit and allowing people to get by him. That's not the first time tonight that's happened.
And as we're seeing from the fringes of the frame, Ryan Johnson making some dive bombs. Luckily, the people in front of him are noticing it, but these points leaders are moving quickly as we see Dante Curtis get another spot. Bryan Hacker is trying to get himself down below Jordan Madron, and suddenly we've got a race on our hands with 42 laps to go.
And Bryan Hacker and Dante Curtis still, they have a lot of track and room to go. Laps are closing down. We're at almost 41 laps to go here. They're running 9th and 10th. They have not had the best rebound. Ryan Johnson's spot now 4 positions ahead of them. He just took over the spot from Matt Dula. We got Justin Rigsby finally got underneath the 20th of Travis Hoffler there, trying to take over 2nd place, and we have a caution.
Oh, this is where the strategy on caution gets a little tricky. No! Okay, I was going to say, Matt was having a fantastic run. Gary Eschen's another one that has just absolutely... He's just had terrible luck in...
Yeah, so, I mean, if people didn't notice that, you have to look ahead. Right now, you see Devin Rogers and the 17 of Matt Dula right there in front of them. They kind of get in contact with each other, and they kind of slow down. Gary checks up, but Dante, he doesn't check up really as much there. He's not as cautious. And,
and you have to think about where Dante's vision is. He's focused on the bumper of the 23. And he doesn't necessarily see that checkup, which reverberates back to him.
Yeah, he looks like I mean, I think he sees it just a little bit because you see the angle of his front nose. So he's underneath him right here. And as it progresses, he then changes to the outside line here and tries to go by. So he progresses and moves to the outside, hoping he had a little bit more room as Gary was checking up there.
And these are the kinds of incidents that are 100% racing.
Oh yeah, I mean there's people check up in front of them, people try to make different moves. You know, it's a lot of racing, good hard racing right now between these guys. We got 36 laps to go here.
And we're back to everybody getting lined up, so it looks like we're going back racing. And Justin Rigsby is taking up the outside line.
So we're going to look on board here on the bottom line because Justin's going to take off. And there he goes.
And honestly, that is perfection. That's why you take the outside line is, you get to run your line from the start, and since you get to dictate it, you know you get the opportunity to get in front of the person down below you and move along with your race.
As we're watching, Ryan Johnson was able to get by on the outside of Justin Grosser, take over that 3rd spot. Number 3 is right there in action and ready to be in play.
And as these laps are ticking down, and especially as we can keep things moving at a top speed, not mentioning any kind of flag colors there. He has that opportunity to get himself down as the 3 gets himself below the 20. Kind of pushes him out a little bit there, but he gives him space to correct. But that's going to open up the door for the 38 of Justin Grosser and get him onto that final podium position as we enter exit turn 4. Ryan Johnson back into the lead of back into the top 2.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so I'm sitting there watching the way that move was set up. So we had the 20 of Travis Hoffler. He tried to make a move on Justin Rixby, close the gap a little bit, but he had to kind of let off of the center of the corner. When he did, that just gave Ryan Johnson a great run to get underneath him, as we see Randy Nichols right now trying to move the 38 out of the way, get by him on the low side, take over that 3rd spot. Matt Dula's following suit right there on the bottom. Justin Grosser, is falling back here.
And honestly, it looked like the 69 was going to make a move at the exact same time as the car in front of him. It just did not happen. But right now we're seeing that battle for the lead as Ryan Johnson back up into the lead of this race despite pitting about 25 laps ago. But he is definitely not being left alone by the 69. Gets his nose down below, and that's going to open up the door for Matt Dula if he can hold on and prevent Ryan Johnson from getting onto the low line. He can't, but he is right on the bumper. And things are getting spicy in the last 25 laps of this race. The front 3 have opened up a gap from 4th, but we're seeing side-by-side action right now. Gary Eschen's trying to get himself up into that conversation for 5th place, but Bryan Hacker is right on the bumper. We're seeing far too many cars for concern right now going side by side. Everybody's getting racy because they know these last 22 laps, this is going to be their opportunity to get themselves moved up, and it's now or never.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, they are really side-by-side racing. Devin Rogers gives Bryan Hacker a little love tap there in the middle of 1 and 2. These guys are fighting for everything they got right now. They know that this is their home stretch. They got to do something and got to do it now.
And we are into the last 10th of this race, and we're seeing Jordan Madron, who started in first after the invert, trying to push his way back up as close as he can to this. We saw a little bit of a lockup there from someone. There's too many cars here to be able to figure out who it was. But right now, Dante Curtis is making his way back up as much as he can. He's in 9th right now, trying to get himself around Travis Hoffler. And, oh, that was the worst position that Travis Hoffler could have been in. But now the front of this pack, after running within a foot or two of each other, Matt Dula is slowly moving away. Ryan Johnson looks like he may just be getting himself in the groove to try to keep that last spot on the podium.
And cautions out with about to be 15 laps to go here.
I'm not allowed to comment on flag colors. I'm not allowed to be talking about settling into grooves. I'm just done.
So Shane got in the back of him just ever so slightly. He checks up like crazy, not to spin Travis out. Like, got him sideways there. Travis did a heck of a job to hold on to it. But the 30 of Cody came in and just gave him too much of a love tap to hold on to it.
And that we've seen Shane out here for all of these races, and I don't know if it's just the fact that he is our favorite person from the extreme south of the southern hemisphere. He's run some races. It was fantastic to see him running as high up as he was. Just, honestly, that was the best race I've been seeing from him, and it's unfortunate to see that happen this late in a race when he was looking strong.
Yeah, the person that did not want to see this was Randy Nichols. Randy Nichols had pulled out almost to a 1 second gap there over Matt Dula. And Matt Dula, you know, he wanted to see it somewhat, but he doesn't want to restart in second unless Randy Nichols takes the outside. If Randy Nichols takes the outside, then he wants to restart second.
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, there's a whole lot of strategy, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do to win this race.
We saw that last week.
I wasn't going to comment much more on that one, because I didn't envy the admins on that one.
Our job as a broadcasters are bring you the action and comment on it. That's all we're doing here. Is Randy Nichols lines up on the outside, pace truck dives into the pit road right now. Actually, no, they're going to go one more lap around. The lights came back on. They were not ready to go.
Oh, that's unfortunate, because right there, they were ready to just rock.
Just let it rip.
And that is the worst feeling, to where it's almost like your heart skips 5 beats. All right, comes off this time, and Matt Dula checks up the brakes, and that's going to give the opportunity to the 69 to get completely clear, and that's exactly what he wanted to see. Ryan Johnson manages to get clear, but the 31 is there on the outside. Gary Eschen in the 23. The 11 is stuck up on the outside. The 25 and Devin Rogers, he's going to do everything he can to get himself back up into that top 5. And we see a little bit of a checkup, maybe a little nudge right there in the battle for 4th. And we see a car off wide on the exit of that turn. We stay green, and you know what, I'll tempt fate, as we're starting to see this battle for first. Matt Dula is doing everything he can to keep himself up there. Ryan Johnson, the points leader, is in the mix for this, but as we cross the line and hit 5 laps to go, there is no room for error, because we've only got a car length between each of the top 3, and it's closing down in the corners as Matt Dula is right there on the bumper. This is going to be a nail biter.
I mean, I'm hearing so many different wall bangs. I'm like, please don't let a caution come out. But we got 17 right now. Matt Dula, he's doing everything he can. He's arcing in a little bit later than the 69 Randy Nichols and trying to find any extra speed that he can. Ryan Johnson's pushing to the limits. He just tapped the outside wall coming out of turn 2.
And that's what you need to do, is we're crossing the line here outside of these turns. We have 2 to go. It's white flag time as we exit this turn. Matt Dula is doing everything he can, but I don't think there's anything left, as we are going to reach the end of this. No more cautions. The 17 sends it into turn 3, but can't do anything. And if I remember correctly, we have a first-time winner.
Randy Nichols in the number 69. It got it done tonight when it counted. He was able to get by Ryan Johnson there at the end and put himself in that podium position. And
As there's the teammate nudge.
obligatory.
And sometimes I like to go a little bit harder than is necessary in that situation.
Well, they have to get their photos first. You can't destroy them before the photos.
Oh, no, that's the entire reason why you give them that extra nudge before the photos.
And then Dustin Shepard in the background burning it down like I normally do. That's my move. I don't win the race, but I'll showboat in the back. But there you go, the top three, Randy Nichols, Matt Dula, and Ryan Johnson with a wonderful smoke there.
Alright, let's go ahead and run through our finishers for the night.
Alrighty. Awesome, it brought up a good title. Alright, don't mind the bottom. But Randy Nichols is going to be your winner. Matt Dula second. Third is Ryan Johnson. Gary Eschen is going to be fourth. Fifth will be Devin Rogers. Sixth is Dante Curtis. Seventh is Jordan Mandarin. Eighth is Bryan Hacker. Ninth is Justin Grosser. 10th is Travis Hoffler. 11th is Justin Rigsby. And 12th is Cody Hubbard. Alright, and 13th will be Jeff Mathis. 14th will be Will Eastman. 15th will be Robbie Clavey. 16th will be Matt Cook. 17th will be Casey Wood. 18th is Dustin Shepard. Let's move to the next row here. 19th is Shane Loveridge. 20th is Adam Gable. 21st is John Masterson. 22nd is Dan Janin. 23rd is Jeff Bergener. And 24th is John Cross.
Alright, this was an absolutely... I have no idea what's going on there.
Yeah, it wanted to go to a different one.
Alright, let's go ahead and have a quick chat with our race winner of Randy Nichols.
Sound resumed. Microphone activated. User
I'm still
was
on.
moved to your channel.
Alright, Randy, I have no words for the defense that you threw out that last restart.
Yeah, that was man, I was I was praying that I could hold on to the lead because, like I told you guys at Sonoma, it's never won a paved oval street stock race, and that last restart, I was praying the entire time that I could hold on to it.
I mean, I could not expect a better defense than you had. You had a few people throw some moves on you on that last set of corners, but honestly, great job.
I appreciate it. I love this track. I raced here with the that YouTuber Eric Estep, his Out of the Groove, Groovy Hollow 200 or whatever it was, and I was extremely fast with that, and unfortunately, just caught some bad luck with that. So I just kind of took that racing line, even though it was with an Xfinity car, and applied it to this, and it definitely paid off tonight. I was pretty much hooked up, and I don't know. I felt like I couldn't be beat at any point.
I get you, man. I mean, you did a heck of a job tonight. You had a battle. You're leapfrogging from one position to the next. Got pushed back on pit strategy, but you kept finding your way back up to the front there. I mean, you had a battle with Ryan Johnson, Matt Dula there at the end. I mean, it's got to be nerve biting. You pulled out that long, almost a 1 second gap, and then the caution comes out. The leader's worst enemy there in the closing lap. So what was going through your head? Like, I think you're about 13 laps to get to the good there, and caution comes out.
So I'll be honest with you, when Ryan, Matt, and I pulled out to that second and a half lead, I felt really good, and I was like, okay, if we go caution free the rest of the race, this is going to be awesome. Especially because of the fact that I knew everyone behind us had pitted, and once the caution came out, I kind of knew that anyone that had just pitted they're probably not going to be able to catch us. Or I'm sorry, I take that back. Once the caution came out, I knew everyone was going to have to pit for tires, and then the guys that had already pitted, them staying out, I kind of knew that was like the nail in the coffin for them, because I mean, you put 15 laps on your tires here, and you're definitely going to lose a couple tenths. So I was pretty happy when that caution, the second to last caution, came out.
I mean, it's one of those things. We've obviously did not spend much, if any, time running, so we can't truly appreciate how bad the tires can be. I would have never have dreamed on a track like this with these cars that tires would make that big of a difference.
Yeah, I was watching my lap times, and once I started running 15 threes and fours, I knew it was only going to be a matter of time before those guys I had pitted caught me. And luckily, when that caution came out, I knew that was going to be my saving grace right there.
I mean, you look like you're doing pretty good gap in the field. I mean, the closest person to you, I mean, Ryan Johnson, at that point, he was a little bit further back. He was trying to get to you. It just did not work. He got cycled back to third there. Matt Dula was able to put the move on him, but get him there. I mean, it looked like you were going to be set sailing there.
Yeah, I knew Ryan was on a little bit older tires, but I mean, with how good of a driver Ryan is, you never know what the hell he's gonna be able to pull out of his bag of tricks. So, and the funny thing is that Groovy Hollow race, him and I actually came together in turn 3. So it was almost kind of like when I got under him to pass him, it was almost like deja vu. Just try to not get loose and spin him out like I did last time we were here.
No, it was a fantastic run. It was great to see you towards the front, towards the beginning, and then things got a little shaky, but the recovery after all the pit cycles, putting yourself in the right position to be able to take the win, it was a great run from you tonight, and I'm happy to see it.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys were the ones to be broadcasting our race when I finally got a win in the streeters. It feels good. I was basically keying up the radio and screaming some profanities over the radio as I came across the line to finally win it. But that's just because, like I said, running with these guys, everyone in this league is extremely, extremely quick. And to finally get a win, it kind of feels like a big accomplishment, almost bigger than winning a Class A open setup race or something like that. So I'm just happy to beat the guys that I did tonight and finally get that first win off my shoulder.
Oh yeah, I feel your pain there. I've been racing in the league for almost 2 years, and finally when I got my first win, it wasn't broadcasted. And then, but the second one that I got, it felt good because you get the monkey off your back and you get to do it. I'd rather have a league race win over an official win because you're racing around your friends, your teammates, your competitors weekly, and you just want to show off and be like, hey, I finally got one.
Exactly. Like I said, I mean, you got past champions like Ryan, Dustin Shepard, Dante Curtis. I mean, all those guys are so just stupid quick every single week. And, just being able to capitalize. I know they had some bad luck tonight, which it does suck for them. I hate that happened to them, but, you have to capitalize every opportunity you get. And tonight just happened to be that case.
Yeah, man. Hey, great win for you tonight, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All righty. You have a wonderful evening. Go party, man.
Y'all do the same.
Alright, that's going to give us the chance to watch him burn the tires down in celebration. Maybe have a drink or two tonight. But it's time to go ahead and chat with our second place finisher, Mr. Matt Dula. How are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. Could be just one position better, but not so bad.
honestly, sometimes you just got to take those seconds as a win.
Yeah.
As I unfortunately am all too known for that in my own racing, but you had a very strong night. Honestly, did expect to see you in that position. How did Hickory feel tonight?
Well, first of all, just got to say thanks to the Mohawk Foundation and Dante Curtis Designs to be on this car. It means a lot to have a sweet looking ride like this and to be raising, awareness for breast cancer and ALS and trying to raise funding for, combating those diseases is obviously on the forefront of our minds. It felt really good. I practiced 222 laps in the practice the day before because I wanted to know exactly how the tires were going to wear, prepare for short runs, prepare for a long green flag run, figure out exactly how much fuel we would need. I pieced it together. I've got notes written all over my room, looking like a beautiful mind in here. But we did it the right way. I, on that last restart, Randy started up high, and once he got down below me, just off that good, jump, that's a teammate, so I'm not going to get up there and wreck him, or even really try to bump him out of the way for a win, especially if it's not on the last lap. My tires were maybe just a little bit better on the first 5 laps of that last 10-lap run, but I just kind of settled in there for a minute and decided if I was going to make my move, I wanted to make it in a way that he would finish at least second or third, but couldn't quite get there to him on that last turn. So Hickory is actually about 20 minutes away from my hometown of Morganton, North Carolina. So I'm very familiar with the track, and it's awesome to have such a good result, so close to home.
I gotcha. We did see you try to send it in there pretty deep in the turn 3. I mean, you had a pretty good gap there between you and Ryan Johnson, so it was kind of safe to try and pull a move like that because Ryan Johnson wasn't beating down the door there to try and take your move, try and take your spot if you did slip up there. But you were able to capitalize, or not really capitalize, but maintain what you had and come home second tonight. You had some up and downs. You were running up front for a while. Pit strategy. I mean, everybody was doing a wild pit strategy tonight. There wasn't like, one pit stop or 2 pit stop cycles. Like every pit stop, somebody was coming in doing something different. I love that aspect of this race. Kept everybody off the cycle and guessing who had fresh tires, who didn't, where can I make some moves.
Yeah, absolutely. The drop off on, a 10-lap old tire, you would lose about 1/10 of a second for every 10 laps on your right side tires. So when Ryan pit the second to last caution, Randy and I were sitting up there like, well, we're probably screwed here. If it goes green here, we're done. Or actually, I guess it was the third to last. But then on the second to last, Randy and I were able to get tires. Then we were fresher than everybody else. So it worked out to our favor. But yeah, at the beginning of the race, Ryan and I were just pitting to take on as much fuel as we could repeatedly because in this league and in the street stocks, man, pitting under green flag for fuel takes forever. So as much fuel as you can put on that thing, the better you are in the long run.
Honestly, it looked like everybody really had speed tonight, but that edge just came to who had the fresher tires.
Yeah, 100%. I think when you're looking at qualifying and practice speeds, there were like 9 people below 15.1, which is just mental. So it was a very, very equal race, and you just wanted to get on that low lane and have fresh tires. And if you could do that, you could work your way very methodically to the front.
No, it was a great run. It's great to be able to chat with you once again.
Oh yeah, I hope that we can chat a little bit more in the next 4 or 5 races. I'm gonna try to be up there as much as I can.
Well, we have another wild card next week. How do you feel about dirt?
I actually am pretty stoked for Bristol Dirt, which means I'll probably wreck in the first 10 laps. I'm very excited right now for Bristol Dirt. I've also got to get my picture for you guys because it looks like I've just got the block 17 in there. So I have to send you guys a picture so that I've got a headshot for the next time my ugly mug gets up into the front.
Well, we'll get them to post the link on how to make sure it's a absolutely fantastic photo.
Sounds good. I don't know if I can, do an absolutely fantastic photo, but I'll at least get a passable one.
Not all of them will match the beauty of mine. And it's not even that I'm an attractive person. I just do weird things.
Yeah, his photo's awesome.
I'll have to check it out sometime.
All right. Well, hey,
But
man,
no,
congratulations tonight on your second place. I mean, you battled hard, ran up front all night long, and you're able to come home second. It's not what you wanted, but it's a great points night.
Absolutely. My goal here towards the end of the season is I've missed 4 races, so I'm going to try to, compete, finish up front, and get into the top 10 points at the end of the year. So that's the goal for us right now, salvage this season.
no, that's the best way to take it. And tonight was the first major step on that, and we're looking forward to maybe seeing your name pop up in a few more interviews as we hit the last third of the season.
Absolutely. Can't wait to get this Mohawk Foundation and Dante Curtis designed Chevy back on.
All right, sounds great. Congratulations, and maybe we'll chat with you next week after some dirt racing.
All right, y'all. Take care. Ought to be fun.
All right, have a good evening.
You too.
User was moved out of your channel.
All right, we got to talk to him, and it's seeming to be a
User was
weekly
moved to your channel.
conversation. Mr. Ryan Johnson, how are you doing after a third place tonight?
Oh my God, that was something tonight. I'm all right. I'm kind of glad it's over. To be perfectly honest, I thought Hickory would be more fun. It was fun. I think there was just way too many cautions. I wish we could have got more green, but overall, not too bad.
I mean, honestly, for something of this size with the number of cars we had, the number of cautions we had wasn't super surprising to me.
Could have been worse, could have been better, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of how I have to take these, because at the end of the day, it's short track racing.
Oh yeah. I mean, 100%. And with all the talent that's in this league, it just keeps growing and growing every season, and guys are just fighting for the same spots.
Exactly. I mean, you were out there tonight. I mean, you would have a great run going, and then you'd pit, and then put you dead in the center of the field or near the tail end, and you got to fight your way back. And it's it's a 50-50 shot. Are you going to be restarting on the inside, or are you going to be restarting on the outside? And you're hoping every time you come out and you blend back up, you got the odd number sitting there, so you can start on the bottom trying to capitalize on everybody who's stuck on the outside.
Yeah. From the beginning, I think I don't remember how many gallons we needed to make it. So those early cautions, especially being in the back, I just wanted to pit, get some fuel. And then later in the race, I mean, we kind of got off cycle and people were pitting like every other, and we were just trying to maximize everything we could, get everything we could, maximize track position and whatnot. Overall, it ended up working out for us for the most part. I would say.
No, as we hit the last third of the season, yes, we've got a few wild cards left in all of this. Okay, really, it's the fact that we have dirt next week.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I've raced the dirt street stocks at Bristol once or twice before. It can be fun, especially at the beginning. If we get green flag racing, it's gonna be interesting to see how that all works out. I know we got a couple really good dirt racers in our league. How different iRacing dirt is from real life dirt, that I don't know, but it'll be interesting. That's kind of only word I got for it.
Well, but as we have 5 weeks left, You're currently the points leader, and the points are updated already.
That was quick.
You have 18 over Dante Curtis, 62 over Bryan Hacker. As long as we can keep seeing you have nights like this, there's a good chance that we're going to get to see you on the top step. But with the invert the way it was tonight, if I'm in your shoes, this was a good night.
Yeah, definitely. That was another big invert we had tonight, but I was like, I'd rather go for the bonus point. I didn't know if I'd get it. We couldn't touch Dante's time in practice, but pulled some magic out during qualifying. We're able to get it. So yeah, going for bonus points, trying to stay clean every week, get some good finishes, top 5s, top 3s. That's all we're trying to do. I mean, Dante's good, so it's going to be a battle till the end, just like it has been, I think, the past 2 seasons. So,
No, it was a great run, and again, making your way up from the starting 14th, you can't ask for much more. Granted, yeah, I'd want that first or second, but on a track like this, you can't expect to be able to make it all the way to the front.
no, it was definitely difficult. Randy and Matt had a pit stop after I had, and I didn't pit there, and they had newer tires. I was just doing everything I could to hold on to them at the end there. Didn't have a chance for the top 2, but we'll take a third.
I got you. But hey, man, great run tonight. You got third. Good points night for you. You got a couple of races coming up for you. We're on the last third of the season here. You just got to keep up nights like this. You don't have to go for the win. And just got to come home with some really great points to keep the lead every week.
Yeah, definitely. Just need consistent finishes. Wins are nice for the bonus points, but really sucks for the EOL the next week. So, I mean, I guess the only one, if you look at it that way, you'd want to win is the last one.
Yeah, I definitely can understand that, but a great run, especially for the points tonight. And we'll catch you next week for Bristol Dirt.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say congrats to Randy for his first asphalt oval win. He's been chasing that for quite a long time. Just gotta thank all the league sponsors, all the league admins. You guys for broadcasting. After dark, we got 1 through 4 tonight. Good job, guys. Everybody tuning in and watching. And yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
All right. Have yourself a good evening.
You guys too.
User was moved out of your channel.
All right. That is going to do it for us here at Ghostfire Racing. Congratulations again to Randy Nichols for the maiden oval asphalt win. But a special thank you to Cross Collision and Body, J&G Hardwood Flooring, 5-Star Realty Group, Kelly's Custom Engraving, who is providing the plaque for Randy Nichols for the win tonight. The Track Time Entertainment, maker of fantastic sim racing rigs, Nelms Racing, RC2 Race Promotions, who next week, I promise, we will have a announcement from RC2 and Ghostfire Media on a special event that we will be putting on together come June. But as always, I'm Josh Laston. That's Adam Wood. We will catch you next week for Bristol Dirt.
Thank you for watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.